Estimados amigos de Mar y la nueva generación, orgullosamente 50 más. Bueno, ahora no viajamos tanto, ahora no viajamos hasta el sur del continente americano, pero sí nos quedamos en uno de los lugares más bellos que hay en México y que ha sido motivo para que muchos gente que ha decidido buscar a México como un destino ideal de retiro, pues esté creando la población mayor que tenemos en todo México, y me refiero a Baja California. Y en particular, dentro de Baja California, hay un lugar que se llama Rosarito, que está entre lo que sería Ensenada y Tijuana, que ha sido muy popular desde hace muchos años para estas personas que han venido a escoger a México como su destino de retiro. Y pues ahora hemos buscado que nos platique y que nos acompañe un gran líder de esta comunidad de retirados acá en Rosarito, una persona que siempre me ha sorprendido porque siempre está buscando qué hacer. Es un gran promotor de México, siempre ha buscado qué hacer y cómo promover mejor a México, y yo creo que como líder él representa muchas cosas que necesitamos nosotros saber para que podamos satisfacer las grandes necesidades y las grandes expectativas que ellos tienen para poder seguir haciendo de este lugar su destino de retiro ideal. Entonces, sin más preámbulo, quiero presentarles a John DiCecco. Well, I would try to speak in English, and as many of you know that my English is enough, but we will try to do our best. So, hello, Mr. John DiCecco. How are you?
I'm very good, and muy buenos días to you and to all of the viewers. I'm very happy to be with you today. Thank you for the invitation.
No. I'm very happy to have you in our event that we will be in 21 and 22nd in Mexico City. But now I don't want to speak a lot about the CMR 2024. I want to speak and to talk with you what's going on in the retirement communities in Mexico, because I know that you know not only the communities in Rosarito. You fly a lot in Argentina. Argentina is trying to make some retirement communities there.
I just was in Panama.
Oh, well, that's right, in Panama.
Costa Rica.
Costa Rica. Well, you have some friends in many countries.
Chile.
And that's why, as you can see, my Amar friends, why I choose to join to talk about this, what's happening in the retirement communities in Mexico. So,
Great.
Let us know.
Well, first of all, I would say that I'm very happy. I've been here in Mexico for many years. It was a decision I made because of, well, there are really three driving factors initially. The first one was the cost of living. And as someone on a fixed income, you're looking for a place where you can afford to retire, and the cost of living is such that you have some discretionary income after you pay your bills to be able to enjoy yourself, to be able to travel and do the things that you like to do. And so certainly Mexico, for that reason, was an ideal place to come. Secondly, I want to say that I wanted to be by the ocean, and having lived in California, it was very, very difficult to find a place that I felt would be affordable. And so the affordability of coming to this area, where literally I'm just miles away from San Diego, one of the most expensive real estate markets now in the country, I can live on the same ocean and be accessible and have access to all of the goods and events in San Diego and still live in Mexico, which adds an additional benefit of having the wine country, of having all of the things in culture and mix of things that occurs in this border region between Mexico and the United States. I have neighbors from Cuba. I have neighbors from Chile. I have neighbors from Argentina. I have neighbors from Venezuela. I have neighbors from all over the United States. And many of us come here for the ideal climate, its proximity to the United States, but we get to live in Mexico. We enjoy the benefits of Mexican culture, and I have become so fond of my friendships with the many Mexican people that I have and the work that we do here in Mexico to help uplift the community. So I have found this to be a very vital community and a great place to live. And part of that is its proximity to Mexico. It's also a great departure point. We have connections to other places in the world from Tijuana. We have great connections to other parts of Mexico. So those of us who like to go to Puerto Vallarta, to Cancun, Tulum, you know, you name the destination in Mexico, it's very easy to find connections to those places. So if it's a little bit cold, we get out of the winter cold to take a vacation to Zuateneo, to, you know, you name the place in Mexico. And it's an easy trip down. It's an easy place to go. And we get a little bit of the warmer weather for those very few months where it gets a little cooler here in the San Diego, Tijuana, Mexico area. So it's a beautiful place to be. And I would not give it up for the world.
Well, but as you said that, well, Mexico has a lot of things to offer. But however, let's focus in this region, in
Yes.
this Baja California region.
Yes.
Even that we have the biggest population of retirees living in Mexico, Baja California, because I tell many times to my Amar college and so on, and even though we don't have any retirement community as we know in the United States.
Right, that's correct.
Like we have here in San Diego, there are communities for maybe 100 units, 120 units, and not only for people with some health problems. And there are communities to provide many kind of services to people like you.
Yes.
Why do you think, or why, well, why do you think, what is happening? What is happening in this region? Why the investors or developers or landowners or operators from Mexico or the United States or whatever, why they don't develop a retirement communities? Because in my opinion, all of you need it.
Yes.
Sooner or later, we will need it. So, in fact, we tried just for the people that is seeing us. Well, we tried 2 or 3 times. Remember,
right?
So, why do you think that is happening? This situation in Rosarito?
Well, I think there are great needs here because number one, I was able to cash out of the real estate market in California and bring all of that cash to buy a piece of property. But there are a lot of people who don't have the amount of cash up front to buy a place. And there's no real alternative where you can come to a retirement community, live in a nice place that has all the amenities you're seeking. And there's really no alternative like that. To be able to rent if you need to, have fractional ownership, make an investment. I mean, those opportunities that you have in the United States to enter a retirement community don't exist here. And I think, therefore, the market is somewhat restricted because many people are now looking at coming to Mexico because of our proximity to the border right at the moment. The real estate prices have gone up here. And so even that issue of affordability for many retirees who have fixed incomes or want to preserve a portion of their portfolio for just life and life exigencies, it's restricted. So there's really not an alternative like you would find in the United States where you can live in a retirement community for less than it would cost you to buy a home and purchase a 30-year mortgage, etc. And I really, first of all, that's the number one thing. And I think the market is big because we're finding more and more people are looking to be able to come down here. The cost of living has gotten so high in the United States. And more people are retiring, doing full retirement and wanting to find that place. Secondly, I think that many people would like the convenience in order for us to participate, for example, in pickleball activities or other activities. You know, there still is a lot of driving involved. And so it sort of restricts our social life to the daylight hours. And many of us don't like to drive at night. So our range of activities, card clubs, et cetera, are really compressed during the day. And we don't find it as convenient. You have to travel to Rosarito, et cetera. So if there was a place that really offered the full range of those activities, I think you're going to find that many of us who have homes, I have a several story home. are looking for single-story, easily accessible places that offer those kinds of services. And now as we age, certainly we see the need for help. If you need some help in home, or even if you just don't want to shop and don't always want to eat in a restaurant, a place that would offer food services conveniently for you would just make a big shift in how easy life would be and how wonderful it would be to be there. So I think really looking closely at how this lifestyle is, the kinds of things that we look for, educational opportunities, classes in Spanish. Now that we have, the ability to do so many things virtually, bringing virtual programming to us in a clubhouse or something, I think that it even expands the possibilities of what you could do to really make it attractive for people to live there. And of course, the other thing that's important for all of us is managing our healthcare needs, both acute and chronic illnesses. So those are a range of things that people need to think about living here, and also people offering retirement living need to think through what makes sense for us to be able to access immediate care when we need it, to have access to doctors. And as many of you know, here in Mexico, it's very easy to access for acute care a physician at a local pharmacy. Even at Calimax that has a pharmacy, physicians are available. So, I mean, it isn't hard to find a doctor. But if you have more complicated care, or have more complicated procedures, or you have a more emergent event like a heart attack, a stroke or something, you want to make sure that you're in proximity to those services and there's a pathway to care that you need to respond quickly and to also give you the best care that you know is available. So those are all considerations in planning. And what's so ideal about Baja is we have excellent hospitals here on this side of the border, as well as on the other side of the border. So if you need to get to a trauma center, if you need immediate care, that range of Medicare is available here. So it's really an ideal place for us as we age to know that our medical care can be addressed. And particularly if you've thought about, you usually have to do some pre-planning. But let's say I was in a retirement community where I knew people were trained to do CPR, which, where I'm living, I don't know if our guards could help me if I needed help. I have to wait for an ambulance, If you really want to offer a more secure setting for people where those kinds of concerns often emerge as you age, that really is not available here either. And having that kind of package put together really makes it desirable for people. So I just see the potential here is so great in being able to attract people. And, for people who don't speak Spanish, what you'll find in this area is that many people do speak English. Porque mire, estoy viviendo una porción de cada año en Argentina y allá tengo que hablar todo el tiempo en español, pero acá yo puedo hablar inglés en las tiendas, en los lugares donde hay mexicanos o hay americanos y gente de todo el mundo. So, I mean, it's the uncomfortableness about not feeling you can be understood or communicate is also reduced in this area because there are many, many, many English speakers, and the number of children now that speak Spanish really well has really increased. It's unusual for you to go to a store or someplace where you're not going to find someone who speaks English well and can attend you. So I really think that's the other attractive thing about this area.
Excelente.
Yeah.
Excelente. Bueno, como pueden ver ustedes, amigos de Amar, nos está diciendo John claramente cuáles están siendo las necesidades que ellos tienen, cuál ve el potencial que ellos requieren ya que se lleven a cabo estas comunidades retiradas. Y si me lo permites, John, vamos a hacer un pequeño corte, pero regresando, yo sí quisiera preguntarte algo. If we develop retirement communities in the corridor of Tijuana and Ensenada, do you think that more people will be more interested in to come to retire in Mexico? Well, esta va a ser la respuesta después de este pequeño corte. Amigos de Amar, regresamos en unos instantes.
Únete a nosotros para descubrir las oportunidades que ofrece esta naciente industria, impulsada por el envejecimiento de la población y la demanda de calidad de vida para nuestros adultos mayores. Conferencias, paneles de discusión y networking con líderes empresariales y expertos en la industria te esperan. Descubre cómo invertir de manera rentable y colaborar en el crecimiento de esta industria en México. No te pierdas la oportunidad de explorar la cultura, la gastronomía y las maravillas de México mientras te sumerges en el futuro de la asistencia en el retiro. Regístrate ahora para Siamar 2024 y sé parte de esta experiencia única en México.
Bueno, estimados amigos de Amar, les hemos dicho que aquí en Amar TV ustedes pueden saber todo lo relacionado con lo que es la industria de asistencia en el retiro. Y repito, el día de hoy realmente estamos escuchando a un líder de la comunidad de retirados aquí en el corredor Tijuana-Ensenada y que nos está diciendo cosas muy interesantes. Pónganle mucha atención. Entiendan las líneas, entre líneas de lo que está diciendo John, porque sinceramente hagan de cuenta que estamos ahorita haciendo un estudio de mercado o un focus group. Entonces, pareciera eso. De hecho, a ver si no nos manda un invoice, John, por toda la asesoría que nos está dando. Pero es importante que lo entiendan. Bueno, antes del corte, yo decía, a ver, ya nos dijiste, John, todo lo que está pasando en la comunidad, todas las grandes necesidades que tenemos. Más o menos dejaste ver que si se construyeran comunidades retirados, porque bueno, quiero aclararles, amigos de Amar, quiero aclarar muy bien esto. Muchas gentes me dicen que en Baja California ya hay comunidades retiradas. No, señores, no hay comunidades retiradas. Hay proyectos de second home donde se los han vendido a gente mayor de 50 años, pero es un second home. Y párenle de contar, si no estuviera diciendo todo lo que está diciendo John. Entonces la pregunta, antes de irnos al corte, era, a ver, si la voy a hacer primero en español, después la hago en inglés. ¿Qué pasaría si logramos jalar inversionistas, desarrolladores y apoderadores para esta región y desarrolláramos comunidades de retirados desde un 50 plus wellness hasta llegar a lo que es un senior living ya con cuestiones de nursing facility y todos ese tipo de modelos de negocio? ¿Qué pasaría? ¿Vendrían más personas hacia este lugar? Y te hago la pregunta en inglés, mi estimado, o la entendiste, mi estimado John. Si
Sí.
no, para hacerle... Ok, go ahead.
This is a very desirable area, which lacks the opportunity for people seeking that kind of lifestyle. Many of us have homes with multiple floors. We live in communities where there are not walking areas. We have to drive for our facilities. So if there were an area that offered housing that's ostensibly affordable, and there are many ways you can join the housing, but those kinds of facilities, I think the market is huge because I know how many people are looking or thinking about moving here to this part of Mexico, and they want to come, but that does not exist for them, that opportunity.
Yeah. John, according to your numbers or your statistics as a leader of this community, especially in La Misión, what your friends that are still living in the United States, what they say? Hey, John, why you are there? Why you decide to go to? Well, you already explained why you are here. However, many friends, even my Mexican friend in the United States, that they have many years that don't cross the border. Right. They ask me, Javier, why do you want to retire in Mexico? In your opinion, what they said, what your friends said about this?
Well, I think many people are not aware, and particularly for Mexican American friends that I have, they have a vision of Mexico, how things may have been in my age 40 or 50 years ago. This is a very different country. The infrastructure, what they offer in terms of entertainment, I mean, it's not the same place Mexico was 50 years ago. It's an up and coming country. It's a young country. It's a vibrant country. We have beautiful wine country. We have restaurants. It's a destination now for many people in the interior of Mexico because of the special things we offer. And it's a fascinating area because you don't have to give up things you are accustomed to getting or having in the United States because we're close. but you get the benefit of having Mexican culture and frankly, Mexican prices, respect for elder members, which is so integral to, and family values that you see expressed in Latin culture and Mexican culture in particular, that we don't really enjoy in the United States. I mean, we're treated very well by people and respected by young people in a way that I don't think we experience. And it's shocking to us when we go back to the United States. And, you know, the pace
Yeah.
of life is wonderful. So,
Yeah. Many people that, well, you know, some friends each other for many years.
yeah.
And many of them told me, Javier, in this area, there are community.
Yeah.
In our countries or in our counties, in the United States, there is not community.
No.
That's true.
I didn't know. I lived in a place in Los Angeles for, let's say, just about 20 years. I didn't know any of my neighbors. Here,
Yeah, no, that's true. Well, here, anybody knows you. All of the people,
Yeah.
all the retirees know you.
yeah. And the
So-
wonderful thing, which I like to emphasize, is that I have neighbors from all over the world, not just Mexico here. So it's a very international community. And not only are Mexicans here from Baja, but this is a region where many people come from other parts of Mexico. So you have a diverse representation of many different styles, comida, you know, everything that's different in parts of Mexico. So this is really like a cultural fusion, which is very exciting and generates its own type of food, its own style of lifestyle. And it's very agreeable. It's very wonderful and very multi-ethnic, if you will, because it's something I really enjoy about this region in particular.
Muy bien. Bueno, amigos de Amar, reitero, yo creo que les están dando toda una cátedra de lo que está pasando en las comunidades retirados y es importante que lo sepan. Es importante que sepan qué piensan, qué aspiraciones tienen, qué inquietudes tienen. Digo, yo escucho a John
Perdón.
y no,
Ay,
yo escucho a John y de veras yo quisiera que a veces muchos mexicanos hablaran como él, con esa alegría, con esa facilidad de querer seguir promoviendo un país como el nuestro. De hecho, by the way, John es uno de los mayores promotores del Valle de Guadalupe. Cada rato invita a sus amigos a que vayan al Valle de Guadalupe y bueno, se la pasan de lujo, ¿verdad, mi estimado John? Bueno, amigos de Amar, vamos a hacer otra pequeña pausa. Ya estamos por terminar este episodio más de Amar TV, pero creo que ahora era muy interesante para nosotros el que ustedes escucharan no nada más siempre lo que hemos estado hablando de cuestiones de inversión, de desarrollo, de operación, sino que también escucháramos al mercado. O sea, ¿qué está queriendo el mercado? No se puede, ya no se puede construir lo que a ti se te ocurra si no primeramente hablas con ellos. Entonces, por ahí tenemos que irnos. Bueno, hacemos otra pequeña pausa y regresamos en unos instantes.
Hola, ¿qué tal? Yo soy Marisol Becerra, socia de 4S y actualmente presidenta de Mujeres Líderes por la Vivienda. Los quiero invitar a Ciamar en agosto del 2024 en Ciudad de México, este congreso en el cual se hablará de una industria tan importante como lo es la del retiro. Y bueno, de ello estaremos hablando a lo largo de 2 días en Ciamar el 21 y 22 de agosto. Los esperamos.
Bueno, estimados amigos de Amar, ya estamos por finalizar. Caray, no me gustaría terminar esta entrevista porque la verdad que estoy aprendiendo mucho de un gran líder de la comunidad de retirados en la costa entre Tijuana y Ensenada, pero bueno, pues el tiempo se agota y volvemos a insistir. Tenemos que escuchar al mercado antes de querer proponer ideas que aunque parecieran muy innovadoras, no. Tenemos que escucharlos, tenemos que buscar bien exactamente qué es lo que necesitan para que realmente podamos todos crecer toda una industria de asistencia al retiro. John, first of all, thank you so much for your time. I really enjoyed this interview. And just in the final step, what could be your final message for investors, developers, operators, what they need to do in order to say, guys, just in case, we need to have retirement communities in this area. So it's not an option. We sooner or later we will need it.
Yes.
So what will be your message for all of that?
Well, I don't know from an investor standpoint what kind of security you need to do this to, but I think the market is enormous. I know how many of my friends and people on the other side of the border are considering moving here, and particularly in the last few years, as we've seen so many things offered in this region that really attract people and make it so wonderful to live here. But there isn't a retirement community per se that really offers a kind of a bundle of things that makes life active for those of us in younger retirement age, 50s and 60s, that really thinks through how we can connect people to massage, to things that are life preserving, that are life promoting, learning centers, physical activities, pickleball, the things that we know active young adults, young retirees, that is, are doing. And that really provides us with walking paths, ways to see each other without having to get in our cars and drive. Those little things make a big difference when you're retired and you want to be able to have activities. And I think finally, many of us as we age, we really are thinking, do I need to go back to the United States so that I'm secure in having my medical needs or medical attention met? And I think if there is a community that offers a pathway to care and has that very carefully thought through, can offer some sort of assistance in the event of an emergency, those things make it very attractive. And we are all looking for that place. One story, easy access, et cetera, et cetera. So there's many aspects of a development which would make it very attractive for those already living here, and certainly for our friends who are interested in coming down.
There you go. Okay. Thank you so much. What could be your message for people like you living now in Mexico?
Come to paradise. It's the best place in the world to be. You have the best of both worlds. You have everything at your doorstep and some of the best weather you'll ever find anywhere on the planet, especially as this place heats up around us. We're sitting in very wonderful temperatures. Come down and visit.
Muy bien, bueno.
Yeah.
Se dieron cuenta, a ver, amigos de Amar, bueno, thank you so much for your time, John. I really appreciate your support, and I know John for many years. I saw all your advantage that you are doing in your community, all the support that you are giving to the community, and all your effort to convert this area as the best area for live as a retiree. And thank you so much for that.
Oh, thank you.
I really appreciate. Many people appreciate. That's why many people know you. Many people is grateful for you. And thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bueno, amigos de Amar, pues como verán, repito, y bueno, iba a comentar hace ratito, ¿se dieron cuenta que cuando le pregunté qué mensaje le daría a gente como él, se exaltó y empezó a hablar con un entusiasmo? Caray, ¿qué es lo que quiero ver de todos nosotros como mexicanos? Eso es lo que necesitamos. Así es de que, bueno, pues este fue un capítulo más de Amar TV, donde se pueden ustedes enterar de todo lo que está pasando con la industria de asistencia en retiro, todo lo que tiene que ver con 50 Plus Wellness, Senior Living y la economía de la longevidad. Me dará mucho gusto volverlos a saludar en otro episodio más de Amar TV. Hasta la próxima.